Hey everyone, this is my seventh video documenting my process of the 100-day UI challenge. And today I proceeded and made further progress on the Swiggy page. Let me first demonstrate what I've created through my prototype. So once I click, so in last video, this was my progress that I had created the home page. And now when I click on the filter, this thing pops up and it is functional as well. So I can click and select whatever I want. Now, for the sake of demonstrating my point and how the functionality works, I've kept radio buttons like this that I can select them. And of course, in reality, it doesn't work like that. But instead of overcomplicating the design system, I have kept it like this so that it can demonstrate the point as well as, and it is easier to prototype. Now let's look into how I created this and what are the challenges which I faced. The first challenge which I faced was when I was prototyping, I had to take this filter out of the auto layout and put it in absolute position. And while doing that, when I'm at this page and I'm working on my scroll, I have to keep it hidden right here. So this is my filters option, which you cannot see right now because its opacity is set to 0. But this is what is getting popped up when I click on the filter. So while scrolling, I've always have this extra space and it will affect the timing of my smart animate. So in order to fix this, I have to figure out a way, and my approach would be that I would encapsulate this into a frame itself and fix this. But I will have to test this. In the scope of today's time, I was able to create this much only. But I'll go ahead and fix this and find a solution to this as well. Another problem which I stumbled upon was Another problem which I stumbled upon was the scaling of the items. So if you take a look at this, this is one section, this is one section, and this is about half of the whole section of this section, right? And I want it to scale proportionally when it's responsive. So if I stretch this, you can see that this itself works properly and it's responsive and would work. But I thought of a scenario where in some cases I might need in future that this frame itself also scales proportionally to this frame. That is something which I'm trying to figure out as to how I can do that, but I haven't yet gotten the solution, and I'll be tinkering around more. But in today's progress, I was able to only stumble upon this problem and try to figure a little bit about it. Like I can play around with the fill constraints and maybe achieve that, but I'm still in the process of learning that as to how I can achieve that. And this was my previous design library, and these are the new elements which got added. And ultimately, if you look at the bottom two components, these are nothing but built from the fundamental components of these components, right? So in reality, the design library hasn't expanded a lot. These needed to be created in order to suffice my requirement for the prototype. So if you see, these are the variants for all the sub options inside the filters, and these are the options for the filters. And I can also go into them and just simply change the state. So enabled, applied if already filter has been applied there, or also change it to like when we are actively working on that and it's already selected. While prototyping, that is something which will help me, and I've created it in a way that is responsive and it's easy to edit there as well. Similarly, if you look at this, these are the two options. So if I'm in the rating section, I can directly go and change the change the state here. So you can see that it's selected. I can go to ticked. Similarly, in here as well, I can just select on it and change it to selected. As you can see, this is how I've prototyped. And also one more factor which you can take a look at is I can edit it through directly through here, and it is all connected to this particular component. And the CTA button is connected to this, and the headings of the sections are connected to this, and the side options of the filter are connected to these. So these are the fundamental blocks which I had to work on today, and through that I was able to create the whole prototype for today. And as I go forward, I will be expanding on this flow. Today's reference image was this, and I had to work on this flow, which I have already created and which I've already created the design library for, but now I have to just prototype Today I have just prototyped one section of it, so it puts across the point as to what functionality I'm trying to achieve. But as I go on, I'll just complete this whole complete flow by tomorrow and proceed on to the next screen after that. Thank you.